and this one was like margin call, and I'm like, what's
Shit.
going on here?
Shit.
Yeah, my heart sank, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my house.
Going live.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Traders podcast, our very first live recording today. And here with me is the world's best co-host, Flex and Joe.
What's up, Robbie? How you doing?
Dude, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. Just another weekend.
Yeah, well, today we're gonna be talking about trading nightmares. What a trader. What are those heart-stopping moments that we experience as a trader, man? I know you've experienced them. I've experienced them.
Uh-huh.
And they, man, it's one of those things that sometimes you just are in disbelief. Sometimes it's a complete fluke glitch, and other times it's like it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't feel good
So
either way.
no, it doesn't feel good. I mean, you get that great sigh of relief when you realize it's some weird anomaly that was not your fault.
Mm.
But the ones that are real, it's like, oh man. Especially if you're not able to like pump the brakes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So what was your scariest moment ever?
Well, my scariest moment ever was a really gnarly margin call. But to
Oh,
set
damn.
the scene, I never actually borrowed to make any trades. Like I had a margin account because you have to have margin to trade spreads
Yep.
or any type of like creative options strategy.
Yep.
So I would never like trade beyond my capital, but you have to have maintenance. And so for me early on, I was all theta gang, man. So selling credit put spreads, credit spreads, puts or calls, like that was my jam.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like Amazon for a long time in the 3000s was like in a channel, man, and it was just like as soon as it hit the high, just you sell the call spreads, and as soon as it hit the low, you do the put spreads. Um, and so I did a lot of that. I did some of that on Nvidia and Tesla. Like
Mm-hmm.
just those are like my bread and butters back in the day. Um, and the one that the thing is like with my absolutely heart like my mind melting story for me, my mind melting experience, it wasn't even any of those. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But I'll say more recently, the heart stopping trades are when you have an unexpected order filled.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Or what happened to me last week, I was trading minis or micros and I switched up to minis, but I forgot to change the quantity.
Oh
So
damn. That sucks too.
I'm in 5NQ minis. And fortunately, I had a daily loss limit set that particular day, so it wasn't like any significant damage done, but there have been days where it's been like I didn't catch it in time and it was even higher than that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's account wrecking size.
For sure.
That's got the best of me for sure. How
Yep.
about you, man?
Yeah, no, I've done that too. I've definitely done that. Like you get that order filled, that sound is common, right? Especially with trading like and using the copier because they're like, what's that order or whatever. And sometimes it can just be glitchy. I mean, I've had that weird situation happen where like one night it was just, it's like super late. I'm in bed. It's like 11 o'clock at night, whatever. And I open up TOS and it tells me my portfolio is down 84 point something percent. And I'm like, hey, yo, what? Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm not in anything. Like, I don't have any positions. I'm looking to see if there's any positions open. And then I'm looking, my account balance is the same, but the percent drop is just like obscene. And I'm thinking, something's not right here. Like, this doesn't make any sense, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, the I don't care what the percentage says, but the account value is still there, so I'm good. Wake up the next morning and it's fine. It's like you're flat, zero. I'm like, oh, stupid. Account balance is still the same.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's awful. Gillette the poet writes that he used to trade iron condors, And
Okay.
I think I may have traded an Iron Condor like once. They were like, I feel like for those, you want to trade closer to the middle of the range.
Okay.
Uh, and
Right.
for me, I was just more of a directional trader. So it was just puts to credit spreads for the most part. And I did some synthetic combos where those are like basically where you sell a call and you buy a put of the same strike. So it's almost like you're owning the shares.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, dude. So the real story for me was waking up one day and checking my Thinkorswim charts and all that stuff, and you get that notification window in Thinkorswim in the top left corner for the news or any indicators you have, and this one was like margin call, and I'm like, what's
Shit.
going on here? And then
Shit.
I look, and it's been so long, dude. I contacted Thinkorswim on Friday to try to get my story straight.
Mm.
Unfortunately, they don't go back that far in the history to even like know like if I asked the question or not. So the details are a little loose. The numbers might be off, but I promise you, the figures are close enough to probably scare most people,
Yep.
especially at least if you were a newer trader like myself.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So my account size at the time was maybe like $30,000 or something like that.
Okay.
And so when I'm looking at the PL, at least I'm pretty sure that's where it would put it, in like the monitor tab in Thinkorswim. Dude, I want to say it was like $300,000 margin call,
Holy shit.
and
Holy shit.
and
That's like
my heart
10x your
sank.
account.
Yeah, my heart sank, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my house, and dude, I was freaking out, cause like,
I'm gonna
what the
lose my
hell,
house. I'm
right?
gonna lose my house. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I mean, at that point, that's when you file for bankruptcy.
Oh yeah, dude.
But that hadn't really like the rational brain wasn't kicking in yet,
Oh
dude.
no. No
So
way.
I'm just like freaking out, and I'm just like kind of sitting there in silence to myself, and probably one of the worst trading feelings I've ever experienced. So I still had to get ready for work, but so I get to work and I open up Thinkorswim and I open up a chat ticket
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, dude. Can you guys explain to me what did I do wrong? Did I have some like spread that closed in the money and like with one leg in the money, right?
Yeah.
And I just was oblivious to it. And thank the Lord, it was just a Thinkorswim glitch, man.
Oh, dude, for real. For real.
Yeah,
That would have been
yeah.
horrendous, dude. Horrendous.
Dude, you and I, we would never have crossed paths if that was like what really happened. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
almost guarantee that my days of trading would have been done at that moment.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Do you know anybody? So like for real, do you know anybody who's ever been margin called? Like
I don't
actually, okay.
know.
I only know one person, and this story is actually wild. So
Okay, lay it on me.
okay, so like my first trade ever was AMC. My brother
Okay.
was the one telling me to buy AMC, and he was just like, buy AMC. We didn't talk about GME at all. It was like, buy AMC, buy some BlackBerry or whatever. And I was just like, BlackBerry, dude. Like, who's going to use the BlackBerry? At least I could.
RIM ticker, I think.
What's that?
RIM was the ticker. Rhythm in
I
Motion.
thought it was BBBY or BBY. One of those is Best Buy.
Unless they got bought out by RIM, but I know at one point it was RIM.
Okay, okay. So, anyways,
Anyway, sorry.
I was at AMC, right? And like I was like
Yeah.
way more on the AMC thing, and like threw a little bit into BlackBerry. And I was like, if it squeezes, like whatever. But like, I think it was like $1,000, $2,000 into BlackBerry. But I was like much heavier into AMC. So like, and I'm talking like $9 a share before any run up, all that stuff, right? Now the charts are all whacked out because of the splits and like they did that thing with ape shares and all that shit. Anyways, so as it starts like running up or whatever, and I'm like telling this guy that I work with, like, yo, like I'm hearing like some crazy stuff. GME already did like some crazy thing, AMC could just keep going nuts, whatever. And he's like, "Are you still in?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like, I'm holding full. I haven't sold a single share." And he's like, "Oh, you're up." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm up like 100. I'm up over 100%, right?" Like, you know, we kept having conversations. Like, it was like the high teens and then the low 20s, and then we just kept having talking. Me and this guy. And so it finally runs up, and I remember there was the one day where like maybe it crested $70 or something like that in pre-market, and I remember waking up, looking at my phone, and being like, "Whoa!" And that was like the moment where I was like, I gotta take some off. Like, I gotta take a lot of this off, right? So I do because I'm just like, okay. And it wasn't like the tippy top, but it was in pre-market that day. And then anyways, so I do that, and then I see it dropping that day, and I'm like, man, I just don't feel like this is gonna do it. Like, it had this surge up, and it's just like selling. Like, the selling pressure is so obscene. This might just be it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go down to like, it was like, I don't know, 10 shares or something. Like, hey, I'm still in if it goes to the moon, but like, this is great. You know what I mean? And that was my first trade ever, right? Just straight shares, no options, first trade ever. I didn't even know anything about an option. And hindsight, I wish I would have had some options here because this would have went nuts. So of course I'm still telling that guy whatever. And I'm talking, I told him about it. Well, I don't see him for like a week. He ends up, and the number might be wrong here, but he ends up like buying in like the next time it kind of spiked up over 50. He sold like all of his crypto. He had a couple Bitcoin and everything. And he dumped like 60K into it. And he was never green on that position. Ever.
Oh my gosh.
And he added, he bought on margin, he just kept adding. And then when that sucker went down to like 12, 13 bucks a share, he legitimately got margin called and was like, you got to sell shares or put in more money. And he was, he was like, oh my God, I'm out of money. And dude, it was terrible, like terrible. And so the 2 Bitcoin he sold it, whatever it was, around like 30K a coin or something like that. 2 or 3 Bitcoin, 20, 30K. So then you already know if he still had those Bitcoins, he'd be up 200K.
Right.
And instead he just basically lost it all. And I felt terrible. I was just like, bro, like I was telling you, this was like, I didn't know shit about shit when it came to trading. Like, I didn't really know about EMAs. I was like watching everybody's YouTube on this sun, and like,
yeah,
it's terrible, man. I still feel terrible thinking about it, but
that's like the worst of both scenarios, because not only did he like buy the top, but he sold the bottom,
right?
You know, the Bitcoin to cover some of the margin.
Yeah.
Does he still trade at all, or
no?
Okay, yeah.
Nope. That was pretty much like his.
I don't
exit.
blame him. Yeah, that's like the okay, I goofed. I don't know what I'm doing. Pack it up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I never experience this sort of pain again.
Yep. Cool. Chi says they started investing in options because AMC. Damn, I wish I would have had some options on that, man. I wish.
Yeah.
So
I only bought shares. I was trading options at the time, but I only bought shares. And I feel like I was probably like in the 10s, and I sold in the 20s maybe.
Okay.
And then GME, I had just one share that I want to say I bought for like $35, and maybe I sold for 70. And like,
oh good.
Of course, there's the FOMO, right?
Yeah.
But like, fortunately, I didn't let it get the best of me and like try to like get in any sort of way.
Yeah.
I did try to sell. I did try to sell puts, and I had a friend that was Mad Theta Gang too, and he would try to sell puts or calls on those big like meme Sturges, pump and dumpster, whatever's, and he liked to get a lot of time, like sometimes 2-3 months. And for me, if I'm selling premium again, I guess it just kind of depends, but like 2 weeks or less. But for him, like he wanted the bigger number and he wanted the bigger payout in advance, right?
Oh, okay.
And on some of these that just came down, he got wrecked because
oh yeah, it's too long.
Yeah, because obviously it's worthless, and then you're selling puts at like say random stock at $20, and then it comes back down to $10. You collected $100 of premium, $200 or whatever, but now you're out, $10 a share or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're out way too much money. that was the thing too with this guy was I kept like I learned like pretty quickly, you know, and so at this point I was like, hey man, like why don't you sell calls against your position, like sell covered calls, and
Mm-hmm.
you know this was early, like when he was maybe only down like $5, you know, a share, something like that, and I was like, start selling some covered
Yeah.
calls. And he was just like, okay, like what happens? I said, well, if you take half or 3/4 of your position, or you know what I mean, even 90% of your position, and you sell
Right.
covered calls against it, you'll collect that premium. If the stock price goes down, you've essentially reduced your average price. But if the stock
Mm-hmm.
price goes up, like you'll be sold for profit. So like, let's just say if he bought it at 50 and he was at 45, I was like, dude, sell some covered calls at 60, at 65, at 70, right? Because then you'll be at least
Yeah.
locking in sure profit. And if nothing else happens, if the AMC surges and you have some of your shares, like let's say you sold covered calls on 50% of your shares that you bought at 50,
Mm-hmm.
at 60, you've netted a 20% gain on this, whatever, dude. And I honestly think it was a
Yeah.
little bit of greed. Like he was thinking, well, what if it goes all the way up like GME did? And I was just like, it's never going to, dude. The float's too big. It's just
Mm-hmm.
way too many shares of
Shit, you knew
AMC.
about the flow back then?
Yeah, dude, I learned quick. I
You were
did learn
doing your
this quick.
research?
I was
That's
doing some shit,
nice.
man. I was learning
I
because
knew of the float, but I didn't like really. I guess I just didn't care, or like, I mean, that's a really stupid thing to say, especially if I'm trading. But an ignorant thing to not have known about, like in full detail.
yeah, dude, when I jump into something, I mean, I was like neck deep 23 hours a day in this. So I was just like, it ain't gonna work. You'll need like I knew like I was throwing out billions of dollars statistics. Like, you'll need this many billions of dollars to go into it to move it this far. Like, dude, it's not happening. So I was just trying to tell him to
Yeah.
collect premium, and like that would have really softened the blow, because even if I would have just said, "Hey, dude, collect the premium, but like don't do anything with it. Like don't reinvest and buy more shares. Don't keep averaging down. Just collect your premium and put it back aside, and like put it back into Bitcoin or whatever you want to do with it." It would have softened the blow big time, because the at the time the IV was so high on AMC
Oh yeah.
that you were going to be collecting some serious premium. And that's what I kept trying to tell him, dude. I was like, these, like most of the time on a ticker like this, it's at 45, you know, $10-15 out of the money, you're not going to get much premium. I was like, this is fat premium, dude. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna get a few cents maybe.
yeah. And he had something like 1,300 shares. So I was like, dude, okay, if you have 1,300 shares, you can sell 12 covered calls, like sell, 6 at 60, 3 at 65, 3 at 70, right? Boom, 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 right?
Yeah.
And it would have softened the blow a ton, and he would have had a whole lot more to show for it. I wish he would have done it.
Yeah, that's too bad. Because
Yeah.
then maybe he might have, like, the blow would have been soft enough for being like, okay, I learned from the mistake, and I still have I have enough, like, to keep trying at this, you know?
Yeah. The premium is he held it like, man, it was like 6 months or something, as it just kept going down, and it had little blips here and there. Nothing where he would have gotten assigned if he kept following that same strategy of like, just following them. But and then of course, as more time went on, because that $60 strike kept getting further out of the money, he would have raked in less and less premium. But early on, it was like, dude, you're going to get the most here. You're going to get something. Like, keep getting something. And then, like I said, he kept buying more and averaging down on margin. I'm like, okay, well now your average is sub 40, bro. Sell some $50 calls. But it didn't work out.
Yeah, and actually, and I don't know how much of this affected, because I know there was that whole situation where they weren't letting people buy or sell. I don't know if that was the shares or the options. Do you remember?
Oh, when Robinhood locked out?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was, I think, everything. You couldn't do anything.
Okay, but either way, like, rather than like averaging down on the shares, maybe at least sell the puts.
Yeah,
Because
potentially.
the IV on those would have been great. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of playing with fire too, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they, and that's too, I think they only locked out GME. I don't think they locked out AMC like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember.
So it was just GME, you think?
Yeah, I think so. And that was much earlier than when he was in anyway, so it wasn't a factor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because GME had to run it
That's
first.
a tough story, bro.
Oh, dude, I still feel bad, but I mean, I'm very close to the guy, so I don't bring it up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think I would either. That's a tough one.
Mm.
No need to rub salt in the wound. Like if he was still trading, then probably he'd like had gotten past that. And you can be like, I was just thinking about this conversation the other day. How do you feel about it now as you've matured as a trader? But like, he's not trading. I mean, it's not even worth bringing it up.
Yeah, the Cool Chi says multiple meme tickers were locked out, so maybe AMC was. Anything else besides AMC and GME?
Like those are the only two that I really remember that went. Like, I mean, obviously there's a lot of Zach Morris stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
those are like the two that really like that are the iconic meme trades
Mm-hmm.
that
Yep.
probably anybody would have recognized.
Yeah, I think that Lance Brightstein says that GME, will at least currently goes down as the greatest ticker to trade of all time because of that volatility.
Yeah.
We need to make volatility great again. The VIX is getting too low, buddy.
Yeah. It's, I guess we won't talk about this a lot, but
Yeah.
what are you doing with the VIX right now?
Man, so I'm looking at the VIX. I'm looking at how a couple days ago on VIX we made a new yearly low, right? So we just cracked below the 2025 year-to-date low.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on, looks like Wednesday. We cracked under it, right? And so there was an old little gap sitting there to be filled just from like Christmas Eve, right around like 1427, 1425. And then I got a little bit lower than that to, all the way down to like a 1374 level, right? But we hit that low, and concerning, we popped back up over to 15, and then we came down, made a higher low, and it now popped back up over 15, closed over 15. And on top of that, we had, if you look at like the macroeconomic events, right? We had PPI came in hot this past week, and the market didn't respond favorably to that. And
Right.
There was some talk about how PPI leads into PCE. PCE is the Fed's preferred method of measuring inflation, and so this again not being viewed favorably, like in terms of cutting. And some of the Fed speakers this week said, we may not be able to cut. There was like some wishy-washy back and forth, right? And I don't follow the Fed speakers other than Powell that closely. I don't know if all of them who spoke actually vote. Because, dude, you get some Fed speakers, right, and it's like, hey, thanks for your opinion, buddy, but you don't even vote. So, like, zip it,
Yeah, right.
But
yeah, for sure.
But what I'm watching on the VIX is like, hey, that we cracked that low. We've made, at least on the daily, kind of put in like a little bit of a higher low, closed over 15 for the week. I have some VIX calls, like no financial advice. I have some VIX calls with like months of time on them for $20. And I'm just kind of giving this a shot and to see what happens, because the big thing coming up is on Friday, we have Jackson Hole. And there have been times where Powell speaks at Jackson Hole and just sends the market plunging. Whether he says like, there's no need to cut, there's no way we can cut, like, blah, 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 tariffs. He'll just, whatever he could say. And if that sends the VIX ripping, then I'll scale out some calls probably on Friday, if that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll just like lock it up, and depending on how fast it moves. And if it moves really fast, maybe I lock out just enough of it to make it like a free trade and give myself time on the rest. But typically speaking, if you look at the VIX chart on the daily or the weekly time frame, as we get down low near this area, we will spike over 20. And so I've got plenty of time so that if and when we do spike over 20, it'll be favorable for me. So
yeah, and then I mean, it would be fantastic for you if that spike occurred over the course of like a single day.
Oh yeah,
because then you're gonna get insane IV on those.
Oh yeah, exactly. I like how Gilly wrote, people will cry the VIX is high. I know, dude. We'll get volatility, and you'll get these sweet moves on premium, on options, and all that stuff, and even sweet intraday moves. And then people be like, "Well, the VIX is too high," and then it'll go low, and you don't get anything, and they just back and forth.
The VIX is too low.
Yep.
We're never happy one way or the other. It's always never quite just right for us traders, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. And I like what you said, reachable too. Powell is definitely going to Powell. And
yeah.
And we just, like we've talked about before, man, we're just watching this real life pissing match between two elderly men who are at the pinnacle of their career, who one doesn't want to cave to the other. Like Trump wants cuts and Powell's like, no.
Yeah. The Cool Chi posted a bunch of 11 meme stocks GME, AMC, BB. I guess that was BlackBerry.
Okay.
So I guess I'm thinking Rhythm and Motion was the parent company, but maybe they never changed the ticker.
Okay.
Nock, that was Nokia, right?
Yep. No. Yeah.
I'm
The phone.
assuming.
Yeah. The phones. Yeah.
I don't know what EXPR is.
Express, like the clothing company.
Okay, not familiar with that. Costs?
I don't know what cost is, bro. I have to look it up.
I know.
Naked.
NKD.
Naked, bro. I used to
Yeah,
love trading that. I used to love talking about that one, dude.
I remember buying that penny stock. I think I bought it in like the teens, like the 15 cents or something like that.
I think they're delisted too.
I don't know what. Oh, okay. BBBY, Bed Bath Beyond, TR. Not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Sundial. I got that one. CTRM, not familiar. AAL, not sure about that one either.
I remember
American
Sundial
Airlines,
too.
I guess.
I remember Sundial too. My brother talked me into buying Sundial, and I lost money on that one.
Headphone company cost. Okay, interesting. I guess I probably have seen them then. I just didn't think about it, and I was thinking like more of an acronym or something.
AAL is American Airlines, so that kind of makes sense. It had the big rip after the COVID reopening, right? And then what about yeah, I'm with you, Gilly. I'd rather have a high one too.
Tootsie Roll, TR, what?
Dude.
Oh, dude, I love. Okay,
Look
I
at this
haven't had a Tootsie
stock
Roll in a
now.
while, but like they used to be my absolute favorite candy.
Bro, look at Tootsie Roll now.
Yo, $38?
Dude, this thing's had a little rippy.
Okay, so in 2020, it was $25. So it's been in quite a range. But dang, dude, it hit 40s in February.
Dude,
2023.
Bro, Tootsie Roll's up
Wow,
over
man.
$10 a share this year, dude.
Give me that Tootsie Roll.
Shit. Oh shit.
Oh man.
That's pretty funny.
That's cool, man.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Where are we at? We're about 26 minutes. You want to get into this common prop firm mistakes to wrap her up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, man. So we'll go through these one by one. You kind of just chime in with your thoughts, right? So in no particular order. So most common prop firm mistakes. I got 3. It's really 4 because there's a bonus one, but it's 3 plus 1. Number 1, you are close to passing or getting a payout, right? And then so you force trades or you oversize and you end up blowing it, right? So basically you get hit with like a finish line syndrome combined with a sudden lack of impatience. And that works like in sports, right? Like in the real world, right? Like you're running a sprint and you just like, you're anything. You're running a marathon. You're like, I'm in the final lap. I see the finish line. Let me just push everything I got towards it. In the trading world, that is like, yo, I'm almost there. I got to get off the gas. Like you got to, it's the opposite, right?
Yeah. But talking about that sports analogy for just a second though, like as a runner, sometimes your brain moves faster than your feet. So if you're thinking, oh, let me push it all I got, you trip it up.
That's true. You trip and fall.
Yeah. But dude, I am guilty of that. I would say I'm lucky to not be significantly plagued by this issue. It's only happened a few times, and pretty much those were enough times for me to have pretty much learned that, never again, really.
Gotcha.
But yeah, of course, sometimes it was like, oh, dude, I can pass this before the new year.
Yeah.
And I've only got a little bit to go. Or it's like, oh, if I pass this right now, I can get the payout.
Yep.
And yeah, dude, it's never worth it. Like sometimes even if it's just $50, man. Like, you know what, dude? You can make $50 like that.
Yeah.
Just wait one more day.
Yep.
Yep. And if you are going to trade it, like, then you have to respect some kind of stop loss for the day.
Yep. Dude, when I was like about to get my first ever payout from Apex, I was trading. I got over the target, and I had the number of days I was over the target, and this was one of those terrible moments, like we talked about earlier in this episode, where I suddenly was in a trade, and I was like, oh god, and I closed it red, and I went back under the threshold, and I spiraled over the next few days to blowing the account. I just couldn't get it back, dude. Couldn't get it back. Was like, okay, this looks good. I only needed to make like, I don't know, 6-8 points. Went in with like 15-point stop to give the market enough room, and then I lost. And it was just like, holy shit, now I need 20 points,
And
And it
then you revenge traded.
And then another thing. Yep. So it's just, oh. All right.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it, dude. So number 2, ignoring news events, right? So twofold here. Either the prop you're trading with doesn't care about news events, and you plan for it and you trade it well, right? Or you don't know news is dropping, right? And it gets you because like your prop, right? Your prop doesn't care about it, and you just completely get your ass blown out by this, right? Like worst Taco Bell you ever had, you're blown out, and then or you just mess up and you get caught in news and it blows you out, or it blows your account, like your account gets liquidated because you violated a prop rule. So very important there. Like the simple solution there, like the first one, simple solution is patience. Second one, simple solution is understanding when the news hits or when it's going to hit and what your prop rules are. Gotta know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, I've definitely fallen victim to that. Mostly forgetting that there's news, or like being aware of it, but then like, okay, gosh, I think actually this was a few weeks ago where it's like, okay, I know that the news is at this time.
Yep.
Originally, my plan was to wait for after news, but there was a good setup before, and I'm like, okay, I got like 10 minutes till the news hits. And so I did take a trade. But like, one thing that helps me, like, I know on Top Step, for example, you have the little, I think the little lightning bolt at the bottom that shows that there's a news event. But that's easy to like lose sight of.
Yeah.
So like whether you're trading Top Step or something else, what I like to do is I like to draw like a huge vertical like box.
Okay.
At that time, and then like move it over 5-10 minutes.
Yep.
So that way, like there should be zero reason for me to be unaware that news is coming up.
Yep.
And that's helped me quite a bit.
Yep. I have that. Like I do the same thing, but not for news. I always have like the news on, and I always look at the news. Like I'm very diligent about that, about writing it down and knowing what it is, because I've been burned before. But I do that for VIX expiration. So like the VIX expiration is a vertical line marked on my chart, like every time they're going to expire. But that's a great way of doing it, right? Just having something vertical to like marking out on your chart. If you do that first thing in the morning as part of your charting routine, you will definitely save some hassle. Number 3, you let greed take over and you start changing your rules or systems to get a payout faster, or to get a bigger payout, or to try to even change, or try to pass your evaluation faster. So like simply put, the fix is sticking to your system the whole way through, right? If your system got you to pass the evaluation, it doesn't matter if you got there in 3 days or 10. It's going to get you there to the payout, right? So trust in your system, right?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many people in the House of Stacks group that were struggling to actually get a payout after having passed many evals or whatever.
Yep.
And then, and I wish I remember the person's name, but there was one guy just said, "Look, dude, if you can pass, you can get paid."
Yep.
Because I mean, assuming that you're not deviating from your strategy, then obviously you're changing something when it comes to the funded side, and just don't change anything. It's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, for real. Reachable's like pass one, blow one. That's how it feels sometimes. It's terrible.
Sure.
All right, and then last one, right, which really hits home for me. This is the bonus mistake: is you have no plan B, right? So if you watch enough like motivational videos or all that crap on YouTube, it's always just about like forget about plan B, stick with plan A, give it all you got, put all your eggs in one basket and go for it, right? Like if you want to be, successful, elite, all that stuff, just go for it. And sure, that makes sense, but from a business perspective, you also got to like hedge your bets, right? And you have to be able to spread out your risk. And so for this, right, like it's meaning you're, especially if you're a prop trader, right, was like trading these funding companies and you're all in on one prop and you don't diversify. It's no different than putting your entire account into one ticker, right? Like you wouldn't do that.
Oh yeah, that's perhaps the number one cardinal sin of investing.
Exactly.
To have everything guilty.
Dude, I know, man. I know. I mean, hey, dude, I was like pretty much like 75% all in AMC at one point, so I get it. It just happened to work. But but like this is where it hit home for me is I was essentially over leveraged in a sense where I was really all in on Top Step. I had stopped worrying about Apex. I wasn't, trying to trade TPT or any other funding companies. I wasn't looking at it, right? And to go back into earlier in the episode, we talking about that heart sinking moment. It was, when I found out Top Step was banning me, because I was like, oh my god, like there's a lot of money in my accounts. I've been making a lot of money consistently every week, every month from them. And dude, it stung. It hurts. And honestly, it still stings sometimes. But basically, don't go all in on one prop. Diversify, right? Like at least set yourself up with a backup one. And depending on what you're using for trading software, and I do this, right? Like I can trade TPT and Trade Day on Ninja Trader simultaneously with the trade copier, and be logged into both. So I don't have to always look for extra trading setups, and you make it work, right? But you could just simply, if you're doing two companies that use the Project X platform, you can have just two browser window open and just click, right? Or put in your limit orders on both and let it go. So
or like another thing is just you can, for anybody that's been watching the podcast long enough, they probably know that I like to have a specific daily loss limit. And so something that I've been kind of experimenting with recently is then rather than like giving the full risk to like one account and then moving on to the next one if I have a bad day, and then giving the full risk to that account, maybe I'll do half on one, and then you know what? I'll go to the next account, and then if I lose on the second account too, then maybe I don't trade the third account. That's just two strikes and I'm out.
Yeah.
But that way, the recovery is easier on the following day, having sized down effectively. And then also it can prevent tilt, because if you get max right on one account and then you want to make it back on the other one, then maybe I become greedier and I bump up my profit targets a little bit and hope for more rather than taking the base hit. And it's like, well, why didn't you take the base hit? Because you're always, when the base hit's so consistent for you, just take the freaking base hit, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So diversification amongst accounts, equities, and risks, all good stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All right. That's it.
Appreciate everybody for sticking around.
Hell yeah.
And let us know what you think about our first episode and if we should do some more live stuff in the future.
Yeah, I like it. It's nice seeing people like chiming in and having like additional comments to make with you guys. So we appreciate you being watching. Dude, we actually have like 14 crazy mofos out here watching us right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sweet.
Nice, guys. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we'll do more of this, guys.
Right. Well, with that then, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Oh yeah. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. All right, I pushed the end stream button.
Oh, I did too.
Okay.